Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. Another great show ahead. I know you expect these things, and we deliver. For so many people out there, it's a time when we're thinking of New Year's resolutions. And I think when it comes to New Year's resolutions, sometimes we don't think of some of the simplest things, like reducing stress in our lives. And how do you go about doing that? Well, I don't have the answers, but my first guest does. Heather Garrod, owner of Planet Botanix, joining us. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. And for somebody that owns a small business, stress is probably something you felt quite a bit. Yeah, exactly. So you're a great person to talk about because your business really revolves around that, doesn't it? When we think of stress, what's the first thing that sort of comes to your mind in order to, try to get rid of some of that stress in our lives, Heather?
Well, first of all, it's a really common thing. I don't actually know anybody who doesn't have stress in their lives, except my dogs, and they don't really count.
Right.
So the best thing you can do is self-care, whatever that means. And it can take a variety of ways. As you know, I get out and walk with the dogs every day. That's my peace and quiet. There are a lot of physical things you can do. There are a lot of things you can take. And I just brought a few things here to give you some ideas.
Yeah, and Heather, modern medicine is great, right?
Yep.
But I think we've forgotten about all of these natural remedies that we used for, forever, right? Until, and nothing against modern medicine. We're living longer and healthier lives. But do you think we're finally coming back to using some of those original remedies?
I think we are, and I think it has to do with autonomy, wanting to do things good for yourself, for your family, things that are easy, things that are mindful, all the old techniques, the ancient techniques of stress reduction through meditation and yoga and so on. Yeah.
We're gonna do a little show and tell here, but before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about reflexology. You sent a chart along, and I wanna really dive into that because I think a lot of people recognize the term, but they may not understand exactly what it is.
So for me, reflexology is acupuncture without the needles.
Okay.
And you have the blueprint of your body in several places, in your ear, on your face, your hands, and your feet.
Yeah, we're looking at the feet here right now.
Foot reflexology, and as you can see, every part of the foot corresponds to a part of the body. What I love about this is it's portable, and if you have a headache, you don't have to touch your head. You can touch the toe.
Really?
The top of the toe, and that's the head point, and just massage around. If you have a neck ache, it's the bottom where the toe meets the bottom of the foot.
Right.
So every part of the body is represented in the foot.
And there are different tools. So I'm holding one of those tools with me here today. Tell me about this.
So I was asking you to squeeze it earlier, which seems kind of counterintuitive because it looks all prickly and everything. But again, it's acupressure. So because this is a blueprint of your body, when you squeeze it like that, first of all, it takes all the stress out of this hand that's always clasping things. And also you're touching on all the meridians and acupressure points in the body.
Right. And, I think we're in a time right now as well, I mentioned, the advancements in the medical field, but also in technology. So there's a lot of information available, but I guess you have to be careful like anything, right? When you're searching online for things like tools to use in reflexology, that's why it's best to come and see somebody like yourself, right?
I mean, WebMD isn't really the friend it should be to you.
Yeah, I think we've all gone down that rabbit hole, right?
But reflexology is pretty gentle. Okay. It doesn't have to be harsh at all. And you can apply it to, the digestive system, for example. Most people have shoulder issues, and on the foot it would be right here. And you can feel it. You can feel this sort of pebbliness underneath as you're massaging it. And that's because your shoulders are sore or under tension or something like that.
All right. Well, you've brought some other things that can help us reduce stress. Let's start over here. You've got some wonderful teas you brought along.
Oh, yeah. So these are local teas. One is to help you sleep, and the other one is to, is to support your immune system.
Okay.
So that's something we all need, especially in the wintertime with reduced sunlight and so on, and because of stress.
Right.
And we all got stresses either after the new year or everyone going back to school or going back to work or all the shifts that we have going on all the time now, it seems.
People trying to get to work on the LRT.
Let's not even go there.
Come on, I had to throw it in there.
Well, it wasn't any different 3 years ago.
Well, that's, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there. This can also be a disco ball for you.
Yes, we've decided that for sure.
That. What else have you brought along here? Tell me about this here.
So this is made, it's filled with Himalayan salt.
Okay.
So it can do two things. You can put it in the freezer, and it's cold relief for sore muscles, or you can heat it. What it also does is, because you know how salt is drawing, right? So if you
Yes,
have
of
a
course.
sliver in your finger or something, it can help take it out. It will help that way as well.
Right.
So it's just a nice, quick, you know, we're all sitting at our computers like this.
Yeah.
It's a good way to alleviate that, the aftermath of that.
You brought some supplements along here with
did.
you as well. Tell me about what we've got here.
So this one is one of my favorites. It's got copper in it, which apparently we're mostly deficient in, and Japanese peppermint, which is much more analgesic than regular peppermint, has much more menthol. So that is also a Canadian product. I love to promote that as much as I can, as you know. And this is vetiver, which is a very strong...
I've never heard of that.
It's a grass that grows in
Really?
Indonesia. And it's very good to promote sleep. Very smoky.
Yeah,
So sometimes one might want to blend it with something
Earthy
like
and
lavender.
smoky.
Yeah. But every essential oil has a lot of different characteristics. This is one of my favorites if I'm doing a massage just before bed.
Right.
Or put in a bath or that sort of thing.
Well, you know, my wife and I have visited your store, and the essential oils. I mean, you can really break it down to exactly what people need, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Depending
definitely.
on what they want to use it for, you can find something.
It's just like the plants.
Yeah,
That's what they come from.
Precisely.
So they're.
Tell me about these supplements.
So
What do we
these are
got here?
called, one is L-theanine, the other one is ashwagandha. They're both really good in times of stress to help regulate the body. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen, which means it helps in times of stress, specifically. I also brought some mushrooms. Mushrooms are the next big thing.
Really?
This one is calm, so I believe it's chaga mushrooms. You can add it to your coffee in the morning or a smoothie, and it'll just help to maintain that calm throughout the day.
Right. And lastly?
So I've been hearing a lot about sore throats lately.
Ah, yes.
The bees know. This is bee propolis, a very good throat spray to handle sore throats.
I noticed you brought what looks like some journals along with you here. Why the journals exactly?
So what you want to do is get all this crap out of your head.
Okay.
So that you can calm down.
Right.
Instead of, oh my God, I forgot to pay that bill, and then I have to, and then I'm going to be on Rogers, and I'm 10 minutes late running here, and I just, whatever it is.
Right.
So you can do your deep thoughts in these.
Yeah.
You can just do anything that comes to you. You can do quotes, if you like inspirational quotes. What I like about them is that they're really beautiful, so you want to keep them.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it a little more desirable to do
Instead
that
of sort of that sterile kind of agenda that perhaps you may get, right, where you can use this as your agenda, but as you said, it's just more appealing, right?
It is, and it's really important that you do it because it does take all of this and put it there, and your subconscious knows and goes, phew, now I have more room.
Do you set goals, Heather? Are you
New
a goal
Year's?
setter?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Not New Year's.
Yeah, I just mean in general.
Probably every day,
Do you?
setting a new goal. And this year I've committed to a gratitude journal. So every day I write down 12 things that I'm grateful for in the morning, my intentions for the week, and then 12 things in the evening.
Heather, always a pleasure having you.
Oh, thank you.
Love having you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Great to see you. I'm sure we'll see you again soon here. Go and visit Planet Botanix, a great location down there on Bank Street. We'll be back with more Daytime Ottawa right after this.